there's a piece in Huffington Post, and we're talking now as what is going on with the wealthy billionaires who are convinced that the notion of income inequality in this country is a sign of a potential rise in the fervor that brought Adolf Hitler to power. And Dacher Keltner, actually sounds like he may be German, a psychology professor at the University of California, has done research on what large amounts of money, what that impact has on people who have just an ungodly, and I do mean ungodly, amount of money. He says, extreme wealth in our lab makes people less compassionate. They care less about the suffering of others. They're less empathetic. They tend to think they have their tons of money because they have a stronger genetic profile. So maybe when they start talking about Hitler and Nazism, it's just a projection.
I'm gonna say that sounds a little bit creepily something.
Yes.
Yeah.
He says, you put that together and you get jackasses. Interesting use of the term jack, as in jack-booted thugs. Hello. Studies by Keltner and others have shown that rich people are less likely to share money with a partner or feel empathy for starving children. They are more likely to take candy from a baby. Being rich rewires your brain and your environment in such a way that it's easy to feel entitled to your money and harder to understand why other people don't have it, Keltner said. Billionaires' extreme wealth allow them to be psychologically insulated from the realities of being poor. Keltner said they couldn't even imagine what it would be like to earn $35,000 and worry about paying things like paying bills or taking a long ride on public transportation. Apparently, another billionaire this past month, Wilbur Ross, said that rising from the ghetto to his position, making billions, is as easy as getting some education. Ross grew up in a suburban New Jersey home, son of a lawyer and a school teacher.
With a little bit of hard work and a little bit of education, you can move from Scarsdale to another part of Scarsdale.
Keltner says that rich people believe more in the genetic basis of class categories. If you walk around with that belief and someone says, well, gosh, what do you think about poor people? In your mind, you're thinking, that's kind of where they belong. There's no opportunity for change, and they're a menace to society. And one of the things we're learning is that really wealthy, powerful people, goes to the question as to why these billionaires keep making these offensive and just downright stupid comparisons to populism, any nascent populist movement in this country being leading directly to Nazi Germany. One of the things that we're learning is that really wealthy, powerful people make their underlings less challenging, so no one is standing up to that guy. You don't get the challenges that keep you honest.
That's a really
Shut up, Michael. Just shut up. I don't want to hear it. You too, Matt. Silence from the rest of the show from you guys.
That's a really good
point.
point.
No more
Thanks, boss.
talking. God.
But what if you...
What do you guys think of my sweater today? Nice. Though,
Looks
right?
amazing.
Thank you. All right.
It's the same, in like medieval history, there was the idea of the great chain of being. It was like in the political manifestation of like religious ideas, basically, but like that the king was on top.
Yes.
And then you follow. I mean, it's just a
Divine,
modern version of that.
Divine right. Yes.
Yeah, it's
divine
just
right.
a great chain of being.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
And you can throw in all the justification. I mean, the real thing. I read a piece in the New Yorker once about why these guys were so upset by Obama, like why they were having a tantrum about Obama because Obama's been unbelievably easy on them. And two things that she said in the article was, one was that they can't deal with even the fact that Obama would say in an interview like a college student should do something besides just think about making as much money as they could possibly make. Like that level of criticism was too offensive for them. And two, she was talking with this one guy, one billionaire, who had a friend who's a retired surgeon worth a couple $1 million. And he's just like, I just don't know how he's going to do it. Like that's his perspective of financial difficulty.
Yes.
Is a highly upper middle class guy.
Yes.
And that's how narrow it is. Like he's only got one vacation home in Florida.
Yes.
I mean, it's totally delusional. It's so
Totally
dangerous to
delusional.
have people have this much influence who not only I mean, they might not even all necessarily be bad people. They're delusional. That's the only word.
Right. They're out of touch. I mean, there was, when I've talked about this, there was years ago now, maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, there was a piece, I think it was in the New Yorker, about acquired narcissism and by celebrities. And which I think is actually a real phenomena. I mean, I have friends who are famous. You go into restaurants. I mean, you walk on the streets of the city. They they can't take the subway. They walk into a restaurant. Literally, they change the physics of that room. The vast majority of people turn their heads, look, acknowledge that they know that person. Maybe they say to the person they're eating with, "There's so and so," and that's got to impact you. If you're living in a world where you are simply going from the helicopter to the limo to and dealing only with people who run in those circles, you are completely out of touch. And really, you should hire someone to simply say, like, we're going to sequester you, boss, for your own good.
Your shoes look awful. But that was when
You're fired.
That was another thing Daniel Goleman said when I interviewed him. When we interviewed him, he also said the other part of it is that you're outsourced, like you're saying, not even in those extreme examples, but just from any sort of basic interaction. You never need to ask your neighbor for a favor. You never need to there's no need for any type of social connection and accountability in a certain way because you can just outsource everything.
You got to go. You got to be undercover.
Had no clue what he was talking.
You got to be undercover boss.